Hi, everybody. It's Teepa, and I have some guests here today. And these folks have something to share that you may or may not know anything about. But in the world of dementia, we often find we need to go out and make outreach and connect up with people to find things out, because it doesn't always just jump right up and say, here I am. And it's a lot about exploring what's going on out in the world and figuring out how it might apply when we're living with brain changes that go with dementia. So, Dr. Ed, I'm going to say thank you for being here. Thanks for taking time out of what I know is probably a busy schedule to spend a little bit of time sharing with a community of professionals, of family members, and of people living with dementia what it is that you have figured out, discovered, and have done that might be of interest to them.
Yes, Deepa, good morning, and thank you for having me in the show. And I'm just excited about sharing things that happened to me on a personal experience level. And then I came through with this breakthrough of redox signaling molecules as a supplement. And I know we have it, that a lot of basic science and chemists are studying redox signaling molecules in every division of their interest, being different organ systems. But for me, I was exposed to a supplement, and which I really did not believe. But my condition at that time, when I was introduced to it by my brother-in-law, and out of respect to him, I said, yes, I'm just gonna take it. And at that time, I have this condition with severe discomfort in my back. I had a procedure done, and unfortunately it failed. And so he just wants me to try it. I was 110, 120, 150% sure it's not going to work. And out of respect, I did just try it. So, but to my amazement, it helped me. In over a year, my own specialty, which I became a patient. And so I am an anesthesiologist, and I am also a chronic pain management. So I became a patient in my own specialty, the chronic pain management division. So the scripts that I've been writing did not work on me. And so my colleagues had been writing that, and I was miserable. I was on a walker. I could not sleep at nighttime. But after I was introduced to this, I had relief in just a week's time.
Wow.
My sleep got better. I'm able to sleep better. I am able to rest. My discomfort improved. And then I was able to wean off myself from the walker that I am using. And I also was able to wean off myself from the meds that I was taking. And so I was a life that was changed and rehabilitated. But at that time, I still did not believe it. Of course, it's a placebo effect. And I was sure again that is what it is until I let my mom use it. So.
Ooh, so Dr. Ed, let me just get this straight. So you were not a believer in this stuff at all. And no. You're a healthcare provider. You're pretty straight up and solid. And you were an anesthesiologist. You believe in drugs. And you were also in pain management, and you had tried the kinds of pain management, all the strategies. I'm sure they were more than just drugs. You probably tried some treatments and some interventions. I don't even know if it went as far as surgery for backs, but sometimes it can. And instead of getting better, what you found was your mobility was now impaired. You were now using a walker to get around. You were having so much pain that you weren't sleeping, which I'm going to assume affect how well you felt you were working, and your emotional well-being and your sense of well-being. Is that pretty accurate?
It's pretty accurate, and you're right on the money into that one. It was a depressing situation when you yourself cannot help yourself.
And you're doing all the things. You're doing all the things that you do for the patients that you serve, and you're still feeling like, well, this isn't working well. And so you get something from your brother, and now in a few minutes, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about these redox particles or molecules. And I want you to talk a little bit about that, but I don't want to interrupt, because the next thing you were saying is, and it wasn't just for you, you found that there were shifts and changes, and you could move around without the walker. You were not having pain at night, so you were sleeping at night. You were not experiencing as much pain in the day. And did it get to where you weren't experiencing any pain, or it really was just so reduced? You have discomfort, but it doesn't interfere with your life.
That's definitely what it is. I have this constant discomfort, but I am more functional with no pain management modalities and drugs and prescriptions to take. So that was what it is. And for me, it's a big achievement that my specialty cannot even give me.
Oops. So what you discovered is this supplement was something that made a big difference when what you traditionally would have turned to didn't do any of the traditional things that you would have turned to, didn't do anything. Yeah. So, but now there's some other situation that you've come across, because that wasn't the only time that now you're like, well, maybe it might be something. And so you decide, sort of like your brother pushed you, that you would do something. So go ahead and now tell us about the next situation that came up.
Yeah, so for me, it was the placebo effect. I that's what I assumed, and then I let my mom use it, because my mom at that time had a condition in the brain that prevented her from speaking. She was depressed also. She would just stare at me, and for 4 years, this is what her condition is. My brothers and sisters live within the vicinity within her. I'm the only one that's farthest from that. I live in Kentucky. They all live in California. And so my communication there suffered a lot. I had to be physically there to really have, to be with my mom, able to interact with her. And so I let her try this because it gave me good sleep. And then the second is, it gave me good energy during the daytime. So those are the only two things that I want for her to have. But to my surprise, in 2 weeks of taking it, her speech came back. That I could not just write it off as a placebo effect. So that made me so interested with it, led me to the medical atomic physicists that stabilize the molecules. And from then, just like this one, when Angel asked me if I could just share my personal experience, I said yes, because it's not only happened to me, it happened to my mom for restorations and cellular repair.
Yeah, so now I'm curious. Now her speech got better, so she could speak better. Before, had you noticed a problem with her comprehending as well, or just producing speech? Which do you think it was as you look back on it?
Yeah, it was just speech. She would nod, and she would do things when we talked to her, and asking her permission, like we still do as children, just to be respectful to him, and also to give her morale that, hey, we are still your children. You are still our mom. She would nod and all things, but would not talk and just stare blankly. Yeah. But after 2 weeks of using this one, everything came back.
How about her emotions? How about facial expressions?
Oh, yeah. That is the thing, is that she was so depressed at that time. This one, just her facial expressions change. She smiles, she jokes, and she gets mad about where's my money? And then, yeah, she's brought back to normal, and that in itself surprised us. It was a gift for us all siblings, that we have her back into that condition. So
wow. So what you noticed was not just language production, but also emotional, sort of more her. She was more her. So somehow it was helping dopamine and serotonin, those kind of things. It had to be, because otherwise, I mean, that's what makes those things sort of happen in our brain. So somehow it was impacting that. So now I'm assuming you weren't the only one that noticed this about your mom either.
oh yes, all my siblings have noticed that, and then they just amazed about
Yeah.
what's happening, and we were able to decrease some of her meds, like her antidepressants was taken off, her sleeping pills was taken off,
Cool.
and
So
then
she's sleeping better too.
yes, yeah,
Naturally, more naturally, I should say, not
more
better.
natural.
I mean, I'm sure the
No,
sleeping
that's
meds made her sleep, but more naturally, and she wasn't having a hangover from the sleeping meds.
correct. That
Okay.
is the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are both really, really great personal experiences. So tell me a little bit about, I know people are going to be incredibly curious about the redox molecules, because, I mean, I'm familiar with the concept and the idea, but a lot of people are not going to have any idea what you're really talking about. So it would be helpful if you could talk a little bit more about what you think what you know, think, believe those things are. What are they that we have in our brain? Just like we have all kinds of chemicals in our brain. What are those things?
Yes,
That mean they don't just happen in our brain. They're all over the place. I mean, just like, but anyway, go for it.
good. Redox signaling molecules is inherent in us. We have redox signaling molecules in our bodies. In fact, it is produced in our own cell, the mitochondrium, when it produces ATP, which all our food are being converted to, like carbohydrates, fatty acids, and proteins are all converted into ATP, which is the energy. And as the body and as the cells converts these things to ATP, it also produces redox signaling molecules. And what are redox signaling molecules? These are vital in the functionality of every cell. These are the gatekeepers so that cells can be detected if they are abnormally functioning, if they are dysfunctional, if they are not working, because this signaling are the ones that would give signal to each cells that there are cells that needed to be repaired. And so we have ample supplies of this in our bodies from infancy to early adulthood. But every 10 years after early adulthood, there is decreased production of redox signaling molecules. But what is happening at this very stage of industrialization is we introduce a lot of toxins into our bodies, making these redox signaling molecules not functioning well, and at the same time hampering the production from the mitochondrium. Thereby, Dr. James Watson, Dr. James Watson is a Nobel Prize winner who is a co-discoverer for the DNA double helix, and postulated that majority of the major diseases are caused by lack of redox signaling molecules, because the body itself could no longer repair, could no longer replenish bad cells, and could no longer protect us from invasion of foreign invasions into our system. And the good Lord has made us with all this built-in inner doctor within us that protects ourselves. And this is the redox signaling molecules. Now, when that functionality is hampered, and there is a decrease in numbers, then we don't have any defenses and a way to repair ourselves. So that in itself is a nutshell, and everybody is moving into how these things are doing. And what this supplement is doing is it is an assembly of electrons that is now made available to us, so that we could achieve a homeostatic balance of redox functionality in our system, that the genes can express the proper molecules to run all its systems.
To run all the systems. So it sounds similar to, we're hearing about, re-bumping the growth hormone kinds of things. It's the concept of, we have reduced amounts, and part of it is due to environmental factors that we've introduced and habits that we've developed over time. And this dependence on things that aren't as whole and naturally occurring as they used to be. But also, we are living longer and we're doing more things and being more places and expecting more. And so this is a possibility that, here's a way to think about this. This is recovery, healing kinds of things. And you've had some experiences that that's the case. And Angelina, I know, is someone who's also had similar kinds of experiences for she and her mom. So I want to go ahead and get her to share a little bit about that experience that she's had as well, and the kinds of issues that she and her mom have had individually and what it was helpful for them for, because both of them experienced that. And then if we could, we want to make sure we have the website where people could find out more. If they are curious and want to hear more and learn more, where they could come and find out more from you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Teepa, for having me here. And Dr. Ed did a great explanation on how redox molecule works. And yes, it regulates, including hormone modulation. That's one of the 5 major areas redox molecules are helping in our body. So it's restoring our communication system, so everything gonna run properly, just in a very simple way. With someone I know don't have a medical background. But for my family, yes, I took a leap of faith because my parents were suffering from some health challenges, and more related is my dad. My dad had impaired recognition and going slower, just like the majority of the community were experiencing here. They're elderly. And we started finding him started forgetting things and repeating the things he already said. And we realized, oh my God, it's a very early age for my dad, because he lost his business before we moved to the States from China. And it all started with depression because he lost his life work. And for an older Asian man, that's an identity destroyed. And so he went really depressed and emotionally shut down. Don't communicate with anybody and don't socialize. That led to his slowness and also his impaired recognition, impaired memory.
Why bother? What's the point? Why be engaged? I mean nothing. I have no value anymore. I used to, and now I don't. So I give up. I quit. I'm done. And nothing gives me value. Nothing. Absolutely. Not even family anymore, because I don't mean anything to them. I can't provide.
Yes. And so that's why, because of he's also very stubborn. So it's a very different culture with a lot of
I'm sure Dr. Zed's mom was not.
They probably don't understand. It's like, we have a culture, we're failing forward here. But in Asian culture, a man's identity is tied to his career, his business.
That's true over here. Don't let them fool you, Angelina. The same thing.
Oh.
No. It's all true. There's a lot of that going on around here.
Yeah. But anyhow, so I was mad at him, but kind of understand where he came from. It's very unfortunate. And because my family lost the business, so we literally came here with almost just 3 suitcases. Comparing to before, the plan was always I go study abroad, and they keep running their business. But since the business was lost, and we wanted to stay together as a family, so came here, and my dad could not work anymore, and we didn't want him to work. Just like, okay, you stay at home, just relax, please feel happier. And I really respect my mom doing that. She started small business as a nail salon, as a nail technician, with her friend, while still learning English and all of that stuff. But she had to do that because I started going to architecture school. So my mom supported me through my college, and she paid our San Francisco rent. So you can imagine how overworked she was. And of course, my parents had great health in the past. We've been vegans for 13 years. We are those kind of vegans, paranoid with what to put into the body. And but you never know what's life going to throw at you, just like everyone's life. So unfortunately, my mom, of course, too much burden on her body while so many years overworking. And my mom started having some health issues. She had shoulder pain, brain fog, low energy, and she's most stressed out is the aging sign, the wrinkles. And I had a skin challenge, and it's very normal for teenagers. My breakouts were all over my face. And I literally went to clinical treatment for my breakouts for about a year. These were all happening around the similar time, but primarily I was desperate with my dad's situation, and my mom, because her low energy and foggy brain, she fell down on the way from home, and the second time almost broke her bone. There's a kind of taller uni platform public transit system in San Francisco.
I'm going to cut to the chase here because you've set it up perfectly. You've got three different human beings with three different things, but all related to not healing and recovering, but also being under a lot of stress, being under a lot of time pressure, feeling value changing, trying to move forward, but feeling responsible. So you tried the supplements first, right?
Yes, I had my whole family got on it once I look it up, the science a little bit, completely caught my attention, which I know it's our body's own element back into our own body, and just attract vegans, trust me. And so yes, we started taking the supplement, and I will just go straight to what happened. Then, yes, my dad's condition completely reversed.
So he started being interested, engaged, willing to try things.
Yes. And yes, it's all starting, of course, he didn't understand it. He didn't want to try it. There's a liquid version of redox molecules in the product line. And there's another, which is a topical version. It's another patent. Redox molecules stabilize in the gel form. So my dad had this the discomforts really bad in his knees for decades. And since I remember things. And he started with the gel form of the redox molecules because he's already using like 5 different kinds of cream. And I said, okay, just try it and see how it feels. And he started using a lot of it and doesn't say anything, but I saw it. And I just try to explain. These are 2 delivery systems, but essentially they're the same, right? So the liquid version, if you feel the gel is working any sort, the liquid will just do the same thing. And he started taking also liquid. And in conclusion, what happened is his really bad discomfort is gone now. And that's for decades since I remember things being through,
so he's had that a long time, and now it's not. And his other symptoms are also better. But you also then got your mom to do it, and her symptoms are better.
Yes, and my mom's brain fog was lifted, and she literally have great energy. The chronic discomfort is pretty much gone. Good. And my mom still works a lot. So they're close to their 60s. This is what's going to happen when your body started breaking down. So they will have things pop up here and there.
Yeah.
But nothing like, a memory issue, impaired recognition, and constantly low energy, those kind of things.
So
chronic that I'm worried about.
Yeah. So obviously your face looks great. I mean, obviously there's things there. So what we want to end with is you guys have told some really remarkable experiences, and that's really exciting. So I'm sure people are going to be curious and they want to follow up. If you could type in the website of where they should go and find out more, because I'm sure people will be curious about more. Because even if it isn't about dementia, depression, anxiety, problems with pain. Those are the kinds of things that I think people are going to be really interested in. And if you have a website, that's going to be super helpful. And if they have questions individually, they can certainly get up with you, but they can also go look on the website, see what's available and what's out there and what you guys are doing. And I think that's a place to start. And if folks have curiosity, we're all about curiosity and exploring things and sharing things and finding things out. So I want to say thank you to both of you for coming on and sharing your experiences, but also sharing what you know and how you figured things out. And I'm going to encourage other folks to be also very, very curious. So thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us, and hope that we could help, and we could have people also having the same experience as what we had. Cool. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Teepa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching, and if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out, and you might want to visit our website, www.teepasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.